This is the best day.
Hello listeners and welcome to CHA5M Converses. We're here in 2024. A Happy New Year to all of you listening and a massive thank you for supporting the podcast last year. We have a big year shaping up and it starts with my guest today, Jannah Fahiz, joining me from Adelaide, South Australia. We have a great discussion about her ventures in becoming a solo artist. We talk through some of her releases including The Best Day and Broken Hearted. She also teaches me about Twitch and shares some special meetings with bands and musicians, one of which is Hayley Williams of Paramore, and we also talk about Paramore. Join us and let's get conversing. CHA5M Converses. Jannah Fahiz, welcome to CHA5M Converses.
Thank you.
It's so cool to have you here. It's 2024 now as well, actually, so Happy New Year to you as well.
My gosh, wild. Happy New Year.
Have you got like much sort of exciting stuff planned for this year yourself?
Yeah. Well, I want to continue to like be healthy. I've been like, cutting down on the cakes and like being more active. I've taken up Zumba and swimming again. So I want to keep up with that. But creatively, I am working on an EP, which is going to be released this year. It was supposed to be last year, but I've kind of just let the process take its own shape.
Yeah, no, 100%. I love that fact. Like I was going to have my own EP come out. Well, my goal was last year as well for mine, but now this year is the goal for that as well. So here's hoping by the end of this year, the both of us will have EPs out, which will be just like amazing. So
yes,
hell, good luck to us. We'll check back in 12 months and see if we actually accomplished it.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
I'd love to ask you what your sort of inspiration for music is, because there's such a real nice kind of like pop and fun and bright vibe to a lot of your tracks. I want to know who influences you to sort of project and to write in that fashion.
Yeah. My main influence in music and life itself is Paramore.
Yeah.
I think like I wanted my debut song to be super happy. That's why The Best Day was my first song. And yeah, I guess like my latest song, Broken Hearted, and also November, they have some more like darker undertones, which probably, does come from the like modern day emo music I listen to. Saint Rain is a big influence of mine, who used to be the vocalist of Storm the Sky, and Billie Eilish.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. I've just got the plain black myself. No rap for me today, but no, that's a great idea. Yeah, no, I remember, I think on the one occasion which I did meet you, which was last year. I haven't seen you since last year. I can say that.
Oh my gosh, it's been so long.
I know, crazy, right? But no, we chatted about Paramore, I think, when I saw you last, because I saw them in April in the O2 Arena, and then you saw them like 5 times or something in like 5 or 7 days, I think it was, in like their tour.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That happened.
I'm still just so like, I admire that so much, because that's just like absolutely just grind. Especially like to see a band for so long. Like I saw Ice Nine Kills twice up in London as well, and like saw their main show and then saw their set at Download Festival. And it was so weird because like it was almost like basically the same set. But after you've even seen a band like twice in a very short period of time, you just feel so much more connected, because you're like, yeah, I know what's coming next. Oh, they're bringing this out. Oh, that song's going to play now. You had that 5 times.
Yeah. And it was cool, like seeing it from different angles. Like it gave like, I felt like it was a different show every time. I mean, they did change it up a little bit. And I was there when they played All I Wanted.
That's fair. I think they played that in London as well. But that's a massive track. A lot of people start screaming and crying and dancing to that song. Although I think they do that for most of the night, honestly. But no, that's awesome. No, I love that. Yes. No, I love that they're kind of your inspirations. Is Miley Cyrus also a big inspiration to you, seeing as she's like lurking behind you right now?
We love Hannah Montana. So I'm a big Disney girl. I think also like Disney really inspired me as well to kind of be a musician and to
Really?
chase my dreams. Like Disney is all like wholesome, like chase after whatever you believe in. And I'm still like, I think it's like a coping mechanism, but I'm currently like, I've been rewatching all of my Disney shows this year.
Oh wow, really?
I'm on That's a Raven at the moment. We watched yeah, but I was watching all of these Disney shows, and so many of them have a musician as like a main person. And so
Right.
like it only makes sense why I grew up wanting to be a musician. But yeah,
Wow, yeah.
we love Hannah Montana. I think I know like every Hannah Montana song.
Oh, right,
And
okay.
Miley Cyrus is great. I think she is really cool. Like she has been a feminist. I don't think she's vegan anymore. She was vegan for a little while, and then I
Okay.
don't know, she decided to eat fish. I don't know the story, but I was a little bit salty. I was a bit salty about it, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really I've come back. Her music is yeah, it's great. Especially Flowers. Flowers was my anthem this year.
All right, awesome. Yeah, no, I'm not incredibly well versed with too much of her, obviously, discography and all that kind of stuff. Especially the Hannah Montana, I can tell you that I know nothing. So you know every song before I do. But no, I love that. Like I always find it fascinating people who have like big cutouts of like you know just musicians or just artists and whatever, just like in their bedrooms. And like I know friends who have like wrestlers and stuff in their bedrooms and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Where did you even get your hands on that? Just for you know research's sake.
I've had this for like forever. I think
Right.
maybe my mum might have gotten it when like a Hannah Montana album came out from JB Hi-Fi. So like
Yeah.
with JB Hi-Fi, I have like a bunch of posters. I don't know if anything else is up there. Not yet. I've got
Yeah.
like Star Wars posters, Kirby, Zelda. You just kind of go in and you put your name down. You're like, hey, I really like that poster. Can I like have it when it's finished with the display?
Oh wow.
And if no one else claims it, then they call you up and they're like, hey, come and get it. But yeah, I think that's how we ended up getting Hannah. We've had her for a long time.
Yeah, JB's for the win. I didn't know that. I feel like a lot of my friends who are
100%.
listening to this podcast are now going to start calling up JB Hi-Fi asking for their Star Wars posters.
Yeah, can I please get first dibs on everything though? Thanks.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
I'm not going to gatekeep it. I have lots of cool stuff. I'm running out of wall space, so
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But even so, yeah, no, especially with the cutouts. It's like you have to. I mean, like, I don't know. I can just picture the person leaving the shop with a big life-size cutout of somebody, and then go into their car because you can't like bend it or like it surely
I
would have
think
to
she
be
folds
like.
in half somehow.
Does she fold in half?
I
Yeah,
think so.
surely. Well, I'll have to experiment on that later. Because yeah, I'm like, if you just like carry out this life-size catch-it of like portrait of someone as you're walking to your car, putting it in the back, like the seat has to be long enough for you to put it in there for a start. It asks a lot of questions that I need answering, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I can figure them out later for myself. But getting back to yourself and your music, I would love to talk to you about The Best Day, because I really do like that song. As you said, it's the first one that you mainly had that was really bright and fun and jaunty and like especially very yellow as well. I like the yellowness of it. And the Wall of Ducks, that was awesome too. Where on earth did you find a Wall of Ducks?
Yeah, so that was all filmed in Canberra. A lot of that was filmed at the Selfie Museum. I think it's now closed down. They were selling everything. I almost bought the ducks, but then I thought my mum would probably kill me if I just bought like 100-something ducks. So,
yeah, right.
but yeah, the Selfie Museum. I don't know if there's anything here, but there's a few like around the place. They pop up. They go out
sort of like what's kind of in them? Is it just like things you just take selfies of yourself with? Like
yeah, they're like little sets. So in The Best Day, the whole wrap is like in that Selfie Museum. So like each we did like the whole camera tricks, and each set in there is it's like this big room, and there's like individual sets all throughout it with like we obviously use professional cameras, but you can literally, they've got like a ring light, and then you put your phone in it and you can like put on self-timer and like take selfies. Like that's what it's designed for.
That would be like an absolute dream for just, as you said, just solo artists who want to shoot a music video. Just go to like, you know, the Selfie Museum and just stand in front of a backdrop or next to a set or whatever. And just go for it. That sounds wonderful. I'm surprised that it closed down. I feel like a place like that would be like incredibly popular. Maybe not in Canberra.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, Canberra. I I guess like Canberra isn't as big music wise, so like maybe there's not quite as much budget and stuff like that.
Mm.
So maybe bands aren't considering doing as many like big creative projects like music videos, but it's cool. Maybe it's a bit of a fad. I don't
Yeah,
know.
possibly. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I've been to Canberra once, and it was only for a school excursion in year 7 when we went to, like, the Parliament House, and we saw House of Greens and the Red House and that kind of thing. I can't remember what it now.
Did you go to Questacon?
Oh my God, I did actually. Yeah. Oh my God, that's just like blown my brain right back. That was, yeah. Please remind me of, was that like that wasn't like a fucking like a museum or a thing or, yeah,
Yeah,
was
it was
it?
like
Yeah.
a science museum basically.
Yeah, that's right. That's
and
so
they
strange.
have shows.
Yeah.
And there's the like giant drop thing.
Oh
like
my God, yeah.
down. Did you do that?
Yeah, I did. Fuck, that's so funny. I
literally couldn't do it. I couldn't do it as a kid. It took I was like 18 or 19 and my cousins from America were in town and that's when I did it.
Yeah, right. Damn. Yeah, you've just like unearthed a real, like right in the real back of the mind has come to the front way. I'm like, what is going on right now?
I feel like everybody that says they go to Canberra, they go to the Parliament Houses and then they go to Questacon. That's all they tell me. So
yeah, literally. That's where I guess that's where the schools can like afford to take them. But like, yeah, that's crazy. That's like, man, I love that. Thank you so much for just like reminding me of that. Because yeah, I'm gonna have to go meditate on that later and be like, what else can I remember now that I've unearthed that bloody thought from far back, like literally 2000 and what, like 8-ish, I would expect.
Right.
Back in that time, yeah. But yeah, goddamn. But even so, like, I'm hell chuffed that you were able to like, get a really good place to, film your video and do that kind of stuff. Whereabouts did you film the performance when you guys did like the live band and stuff? Because it looked like the Cranker, but I don't think it was the Cranker.
No, that was Transit Bar in Canberra. So it was just after they kind of reopened. Yeah, so I come from an events background and I've put on many shows at Transit Bar. And so I hit them up and I said, like, I want to film a live performance here for a music video. And they said, yeah, come on in. Just like whack our name in the credits. And Transit Bar being Transit Bar supporting local artists, which is great.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I saw the red curtain. I was like, oh, thank you. That's got a red curtain. But then again, there's a few bars around the place that got a red curtain, I think.
Yeah,
I think fancy. Obviously, yeah, it's great. Yeah. And Transit Bar is obviously one of those venues that has that as well, which is like, yeah, fucking brilliant. Well done. But no, like I enjoyed like, the way that it was filmed and like the way that you sort of, it as you say, like it just makes, it gives you a real brightness and a real kind of like positiveness about, the world and life and that kind of stuff. And I guess that's where like, Broken Hearted sort of made a shift ever so slightly in that kind of, I guess, demographic. But it was still very like bright and colorful and purple. I like purple. It was a good like, it had its little spots in there. But it's nice how it kind of like transitions out into sort of like, some other sort of like, danky spots and that kind of thing. How did you go filming? Was that like an idea that you had to sort of like put it all together, or do you get kind of creative ideas from other people as well as yourself?
It's usually I kind of like, yeah, I think of most of it, and then so Broken Hearted was actually going to be like a total DIY, mostly because I was really poor.
Yeah, I feel you.
But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get Kenneth back on board. He was my photographer. He did a bunch of photo shoots for me. Mm-hmm. And so I remember him like saying he does a little bit of video work. So I was like, do you want to jump on this? He was like, yeah. So I kind of like explained my whole idea and I was like, I don't know how to piece them all together though. So he kind of helps me like make it a nice fluid thing.
Yeah, right. Wonderful. No, that's wonderful. It's great when you can find someone, especially who you work with, that can help like, bring your vision and such to life. That's wonderful. Did you have any luck on like on the claw machines? Because they made like quite an appearance throughout.
I'm very bad.
Yeah.
I have no skill in claw machines. It's all just for show.
Oh man, not much of an arcade person.
But that's kind of on brand, right? Like I didn't win anything, so I'm brokenhearted.
Yeah, exactly right. That's a very good way of calling it. Yeah. I went to like an arcade spot the other day. And yeah, the person I was with was trying to like win just something, or rather from like the claw machines and such. It was like, yeah, okay. I'm like, sometimes I can be pretty good at like sort of seeing what could be a good potential grab, but then they always
Yeah.
open up just so like prematurely and just like let it go as soon as like it like starts to go up, and it's like, bro, just go buy the toy at like, you know, Toys R Us or Kmart or something. It's definitely worth just like not staying here and doing this.
Yeah, it's so rigged, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know how those things sort of. I don't know. It's strange how they keep on going. Like you've got that, and you've got like the game spots, like Intensity and that kind of stuff outside the cinemas, and that
Yeah.
they're quite fun. But the claw machines still quite sort of do their thing. I did win a Randy from South Park on a claw machine. He was one of my
Okay.
biggest success stories. That was a good time, a real good
Yeah,
time.
see, you win one time and then you keep trying your whole life. That's how they stay in business.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's like you keep going back to be like, yeah, no, I can do this again. I can replicate my one massive victory. And then it just doesn't really go that way. And it's like, shit. And it's like, damn, how much money have I dropped on this machine now?
Is that technically gambling? Because like, I mean, there is some skill in it, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like majority of them are a little bit rigged. Like they open a little bit. They don't like close
definitely.
as much.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wonder if it is sort of like put in that way. It definitely could be. Because I mean, you know, it's almost like it caters for the people who like the challenge of wanting to win something, and they don't quit until they get it. And so, like, you know, $70 later, they win their $5 plush toy of, you know, bloody I don't know, Pikachu or something, and they're like, yes, I did it. You know, 4 hours and $60 later.
100%.
And I was like, damn, you might have a problem there.
I mean, like if you're paying per hour as well, like that's kind of good entertainment value though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Possibly, very much possibly. Oh no, but even so, good tangent. That was a good tangent. We love tangents on this show. Cool. We do very, very well. I'd also like to ask you just about being a solo artist in general. What was your sort of your want to kind of be a solo artist and write your own songs and put them out as yourself? Because as you said before, like, you know, you've been in like events and that kind of stuff as well previously. So what was your sort of inspiration for wanting to be a solo artist?
Yeah, I feel like it's always been my calling, honestly. Like people ask me like, how long have you been singing for? I'm like, oh, as long as I could talk. Like I remember my dad owns a carpet shop and I used to like jump up on his rugs when I was like 5 and like perform for his customers, like these stupid little toddler songs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I started writing. I wrote my first song about Joe Jonas when I was 12. And then I thought I was going to marry him. Right. It's still, I mean, he's getting divorced. It still could happen.
Oh my goodness. You and many other girls around the world have just like lit up.
Yeah, but they have a song called Australia. So like it's got to be an Australian girl. Anyway, and then yeah, I don't know, like I guess being in maybe imposter syndrome. Like I've done vocal lessons for years and I haven't done them for a little while now, but yeah, it's always been the intention to be like, I've always said, like, everyone's like, what do you want to be when you're old? I'm like, I'm going to be a singer. That's what I'm going to do. And I guess maybe, yeah, like imposter syndrome is probably like the biggest thing that stopped me from actually chasing that dream.
Yeah.
Also like being a soloist, it's like, how do you even release music? Like I had no idea what even a producer did until like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right. You mean like I can write like the like backbone of this song and then someone can just come and like make it sound amazing? Like I don't even have to do that. So like I guess like being in the industry kind of led up to this. And now I like have so much industry experience behind me that I'm so grateful for as well, that I'm not going in blind. I know like how to market. I know how to brand. Yeah. And like eventually I will eventually have a backing band with me as well. Yeah. And like I have people that I can fall back on. So yeah.
That's fantastic. No, I love that. And I can definitely sort of relate to that as well. I mean, I've sort of been in vocal lessons and that sort of stuff for years, but it's one of those things that someone kind of asks you back, especially when you're much younger and they're like, you know, what do you want to do? Or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's that thing where you're like, yeah, you're like, you know, I want to be a singer or musician or be in a band or whatever it is. And it's especially like throughout the change, especially within our generation, of how things have just become so much more streamlined from being physical and that kind of stuff. I loved when things were physical, and I started doing music with my bands, one of my first band, when physicals were still a thing and streaming hadn't really kicked in yet. And that was like so cool, just be able to like, make your own CD and just like do all the artwork, and then they post it to you, and then you just have it. You're like, oh shit, this is, and you can like give it to people to give you money for it. It's like, oh, this is the best thing ever. And then like within 3 years, that was gone basically from like the local scene, especially because the people don't buy the CDs anymore. Most of them are obsolete now, which is very disappointing. But now it's like it's all just straight into your distribution services like your DistroKid or your GyroStream, and that goes on your streaming services, and that's kind of like it's all just so social media orientated rather than just kind of like personable orientated. I mean, it can still be personable if you just go up to someone and tell them you got music and where to find it and whatever, but at the end of the day they have to use their phone or whatever to sort of find it, and it does make the process so much difficult, well, more difficult I suppose, for solo artists and that sort of stuff. And how have you sort of found it with releasing your music? Are you sort of on that same kind of line, like, just chucking it out on the streaming services and the distribution, that sort of stuff? Have you seen like it kind of like work quite well? Like you're able to work that stuff pretty well when you do put out your releases?
I mean, I know how to do it. In reality, it's a gamble. It really is. And like you could drop the coolest song on the same day Paramore releases the coolest song, like you don't know who's going to do what. But like, I think also like being so fresh like I am, it is hard to get that traction. And so like, you got to really grind. Like it is hard work. But I feel like the digital world is kind to me for the most part. And, being a Twitch streamer, I've now been streaming on Twitch for like 3.5 years. So
yes, right, of course.
I feel like when I released The Best Day, a lot of my Twitch audience was like, we want to check that out. And then like a lot of the people that I'd worked with on the event side of things, they were like, wait, you've been like organizing gigs for 8 years and now you're releasing a song, like what? And they like checked that out as well. So like, I think because I had connections already, that kind of helped me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the fact that you could have different like avenues. That's like a big way of, I think, making it successful, is having different outlets for different people who are still interested in what you do. So they get around it and you're like, yeah, sweet, this is great. I would love for you to take me through Twitch, because I mean, I'm quite naive in a lot of digital stuff and new apps and that sort of stuff. I mean, I got TikTok maybe 2 weeks ago, and I think it's gross. So that's gonna be,
I hate TikTok.
That's gonna be gone in like that's gonna be gone in like a matter of seconds. I hate it. But like with Twitch, is it like you play video games and people watch you play video games, or is it more to it than that? Excuse my naiveness.
No. Yeah, that is what mostly happens on Twitch. But there are a lot of like, they call it just chatting streamers, where like, I mean, you could be doing this on Twitch, for example. Sometimes I take my laptop. Obviously, I can't be bothered taking my whole bloody setup to the kitchen, but I'll take my little laptop and I'll like, I'll do a baking stream. I'll make vegan cupcakes or lasagna or whatever the heck. And like when I travel, sometimes I'll just like go live from my mobile and be like having a lunch date with chat, and I'll like put my phone on the other side of the table and like as if we're like on a little date, me and chat.
Wow.
Like you can really do whatever you want. It started off just kind of gaming for me. Before that, I was on YouTube doing interviews when COVID hit. So COVID hit, and I was like, obviously I can't organize any events. How do I showcase these awesome musicians that I know? And that's when I kind of took to YouTube and I started interviewing them. And I was like, oh, well, I hear about Twitch all the time. Maybe I should move on to Twitch and like play video games. Seems like I'm doing that anyway. And then from there, like I've kind of connected with a lot of streamers that kind of are a little bit wacky, a little bit unhinged, and I kind of love it. And I find it really creative. Just to like come up with a weird, wacky idea. So I hit a goal that we get Jannah
Ooh.
Montana. So
Oh, right.
one day soon,
Okay.
I'm going to become Hannah Montana and sing her songs. And yeah, and I'm going to take my chat to the beach and build sandcastles. Like
Oh, wow.
it's just cool to be like creative in a different way through Twitch.
Yeah, 100%. You're become Jannah Montana. I love that. It's a great
Yeah.
connection. That's like a real good circle. Almost full circle that we've done right there. That's really, really good. No, that makes a lot of sense. No, that'd be great. It's because I know there's a few people who I know like Twitch streamers and that sort of thing. And I've always been quite curious into like sort of what was it more kind of about. But even so, it's such a I guess it sounds like a really good way to sort of connect with people and I guess like showcase more sides of yourself that other people don't know about, like your sandcastle building side, or your cooking racing side, your video game playing side, especially. What video games are ones that you usually go to when you do your sort of streaming and that kind of stuff?
Yeah. If you're expecting good gameplay, that's not the channel. We are number one in having fun on my channel.
Right, there we go. Listen and watch for having fun first and foremost.
Yeah, sometimes we get lucky, sometimes we get good, but yeah. Today I played Poker Park 2. It was Wii Wednesday. Every Wednesday I play different Wii games. I play a lot of Fortnite, lots of Nintendo games like Animal Crossing, Kirby, Pokemon Unite.
Okay.
I'll play Among Us. A whole heap of things, whatever I'm feeling, we vibe. We played Jackbox yesterday.
Oh, Jackbox. Is that like that one with like the questions and you're for like contestants and stuff?
Yeah, there's heaps of different ones on Jackbox. So there's
right, yeah.
different game modes, and there's like drawing ones, there's trivia, like all kinds of stuff. But you can play it with your chat. You just need to jump on the website.
Yeah, no joke. I used to play it with my friends years ago. That was great. We had some good times back then playing that game, that's for sure. That's so cool, man. Like, sounds like it's a wonderful way to be able to like, meet people and converse, all the rest of it, especially even play, video games and that sort of thing. I mean, I only really play like 3 games myself, so I wouldn't be any fun on Twitch.
I mean, there's some people that do that. Like I'm trying to 100% this Poker Park game. It's driving me crazy. I cannot 100% games. Like there are some people that will play the same game for a month straight every day on Twitch, and they'll just slowly chip away at it. And it's like, I respect it. It's not how I can do it. I don't know if I have ADHD or something. No. It's something I have to always change it up.
Yeah, I mean, like I respect that for sure, but like I got other shit to do, man. Like I have to give myself like a time limit to do it, because like otherwise I'd be on there all day trying to finish that or trying to get like to the next level or that sort of thing. Yeah. So I used to be like a mad gamer back when I was younger, like PS2 and that sort of stuff, and like the 360 or whatever. But like these days I definitely just like snail along and don't really do too much of the games.
I can't really get into games as much as I used to. Lego Fortnite was the one thing recently that kind of like sucked me in a little bit, but it was only like for a week or so. But I don't know. I think for me, I just feel like guilty when I play games, but I shouldn't. Like that's time to relax. It's time to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you are doing other things. But I don't know. I can't. It's imposter syndrome.
No. As I said, I can definitely understand that as well. I'd love to finish off by asking you a question about like shows you've seen and all that kind of stuff, because you're quite a music goer, love getting in the pit and that kind of stuff. Let's see how I can phrase this possibly. Who are your most favorite people that you've met who have been in bands from like shows that you've gone to?
My favorite people I've met?
Yeah, so like band members and that kind of stuff. Because I've seen that you've met quite a few band members, and like you sort of get into that sort of circle. It's like, oh my God, I have fun with him. And it's like, how did you do that?
Okay. I met a lot of cool people.
And it's really nice to ask.
Most people are really cool. Like you listen to their music for years, and then you finally meet them and they're like actually really cool. They're like nice. They don't ruin your expectations. I love that.
Oh yeah.
I have met Hayley Williams.
Oh,
That is probably that is probably the best day of my life. That was like 10 years ago.
Wow.
Rundle, where was I? I was in Sydney for their concert in Pitt Street Mall, and yeah, I got a hug, and she signed my ticket. It's framed over there.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's like. I mean, I don't think anything could even top that. But
I met all of Neck Deep at a gig many years ago. They were so lovely. Sleeping with Sirens. I met the whole band at Good Things 2022.
Right. So what, 2 years ago? Yeah. Almost 2 years ago. Damn,
Jannah
awesome.
McDougall.
Oh, no way.
Absolute saint. She's
You met Heaven She? Oh, no way. I absolutely love her EP with Heaven She. It's awesome.
It's kind of really funny. Like, I always bump into Jannah. Like, I don't know.
Just always casually bumping in.
Like, I go to Sydney or I'll go to a concert and I'm like, oh, there's Jannah. Like, I bumped into her so many times.
Wow. That's
It's
incredible.
kind of wild. And Dale as well.
Yeah, right.
Who else? I don't know. Those are probably like the most sweetie pie angel people I've met in my life. Hobo Johnson was really, really sick to meet last year.
Hobo Johnson. You'll have to explain that one to me.
Hobo Johnson, his name's Frank. He's kind of like, he was big on Triple J a little bit, but he's like pop rap spoken word.
Right, okay.
/ does whatever the heck he wants to do.
Very interesting.
And his show is kind of like, so it's Hobo Johnson and the Love Makers. That's his band.
Oh, okay.
And they just look like they're having the best time. And I told him when I met him, I'm like, when I perform shows, I'm going to like grab a bunch of my friends together and I want it to be like a Hobo Johnson show. He was like, heck yeah.
That sounds incredible. I mean, like that's a massive list already. I mean, I can't even ask for any more because that's just too much. I have to like process all these names that you've obviously been able to like have the pleasure of like meeting and obviously seeing and all the rest of it. So no, like
I get around a lot. I've been to, I can't even tell you how many shows I went to last year. I try and go to a gig every week. It's kind of ridiculous.
That's brilliant. That's like Adelaide especially needs more people like you that go to gigs every week. Yeah, 100%. Well, this has been absolutely fantastic, Jannah. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been so cool to chat with you about your music and just yourself in general. I wish you all the best in your musical journeys for the year, and we must touch back at the end of the year and see if the both of us have both stayed true to our word and released both of our EPs.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Never know what we will find. Close your eyes, free your mind.
Thank you so much for tuning into the episode this week. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Jannah and myself. Go check out her music, watch the videos, and chuck her a follow on the socials to keep up to date with everything that she's got going on. There are links in the description of this episode where you can find it all. As for myself, follow me on Instagram or YouTube at This Is Chasm. You can also watch some full-length podcast episodes on my channel featuring chats with Emmy Mack and Laurie Black. And don't forget to please leave a rating and or review for the show wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I'll see you next week for a new episode with a new guest here on CHA5M Converses.